I'm a nutritionist and I am showing you some recipes for raw cooking, or not cooking as the case may be. And it's all vegan and it's all freshly made and it's just gorgeous, but try it for yourself, don't trust me. So today I want to show you how to make something quite special actually. I'm going to, because it's pumpkin time, I'm going to show you how to make something from pumpkin, and it's pumpkin ravioli. And you can make this actually, if you wanted to, you can also make this with radish and anything that's pliable and that's soft, you can make ravioli with or wraps with and things like that. But today I want to talk about, because we've had just, I don't know how many pumpkins we've harvested. We've just had the other day, we've got another 15 just literally hanging there. And it's not a big space, so this year was really, really good with pumpkins. We've just chopped up a few. Actually, I want to show you something. Now, if you like pumpkins, and the one thing you hate about them is actually chopping them up because they're so hard, here's a trick. And actually, I didn't discover this, my sister did, and she showed it to us. So we're all now chopping the pumpkin this way. So we've got one of these, you know, where you normally chop the herbs, right? You use this and you start off with this, the first cut, especially the first cut, because that's so hard to do on some pumpkins. You go down on the pumpkin like this with this knife, and because you have, you know, you've got two hands on it, it just makes it so much easier to sort of break it. If you're trying to cut it nice and pretty, like I'm going to show you in a minute, this isn't your ideal cut. Unless it's just one cut, just to open it, you can do that. And actually, I'm going to show you this right now. So here's our pumpkin. So the pumpkin you want to use is butternut squash. And with a butternut squash, so this one's already cut, what you do is you get them, so I've used the middle bit, this is the bottom bit, and this has still got the seeds in here. So I'm going to show you something with the seeds in a minute too. But, so you use the butternut squash, and you take the middle bit that doesn't have the seeds, because you want them, obviously the ravioli, you want them to be flat, right? You don't want a hole in the middle, so it makes sense, okay? So the way you do it is basically you just cut down like this. I don't know if you can see this. You cut down like so on the whole pumpkin, and then you just break it apart. And then what you do, and you might have to size it a little bit, which is what I have to do, because this one is quite large. Because at the moment I've only got a small mandolin. And then you just basically, you cut the slices as thin as you can to make the ravioli wrappers. And you can do the same, as I said, with any sort of radish. And the way you get them pliable and soft is actually really simple. You put them in a dehydrator. So the way you do it is you slice them. They come out something like this, okay? That's not the prettiest one, sorry, let's choose this one. Like this, okay, so this is the sheets. And you get your dehydrator sheet, you put olive oil on it, you know, good amount, really good amount, so it soaks in. So you put these on, so you chop these. You chop about 12, that gives you 6 raviolis. You put these on the dehydrator sheet. You put salt, pepper if you want. I don't like pepper, so I don't tend to use it. You can put a little bit of rosemary on top if you want, or thyme, whichever you prefer, or both, because they both taste lovely. Put in a dehydrator sheet for about an hour, and then you take them out. And then what you do, and I'm going to show you this in a minute, you prepare the filling. And I've just realized I didn't get the thyme out of the garden. So I'm going to go and get that in a minute. So, but what you're going to end up with, and I've made these earlier. So an hour ago I prepared these, and these are my sheets. And they're just going to go one on top of the other to make a raviolo, okay? So, I've got all the ingredients here. And I've got my beautiful rosemary. I'm not going to use the parsley today. I've got my sea salt. I've got the liquid aminos. I actually prefer to use the liquid kelp. I really like the liquid kelp. It's, first of all, it's beneficial to you because it's got the iodine. You know, as a whole, as opposed to taking it in some sort of a pill. So this is the real thing. And I've got my nut mix right here, and it's a mixture of cashews and pine nuts. I've got my olive oil, and I've got my nutritional yeast, and that's pretty much, oh yeah, and my, I need a little bit of lemon juice in there as well. And that's it. So I'm gonna go and get the thyme because I really like the thyme in this recipe. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I've just been to the garden, and here's what I found, look, some fresh thyme. It smells beautiful. Just close here. So here I've mixed together basically pine nuts. I'm going to put all the measures in the comments, but it's about 50 grams of pine, which is I think half a cup, but again I'll put the measures in the comments, and 100 grams of cashew. I've put in 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and I'm going to be adding some lemon juice, you know, half a lemon pretty much squeezed out, and I'm going to be adding, I'm not going to use the liquid aminos, I'm going to be using this today, so the liquid kelp, and put a bit of you know, a bit of salt and pepper in it as well if you want. I tend to just use the salt. I'm not a big fan of pepper. I don't know, I've gone off pepper for the minute. And I'm actually going to put in a little bit of my thyme as well. And I'm going to go and blend this up, and then we've got the sauce that is going into the pancakes. Quick report, I've just tested this. I could just eat this as it is. This is so lovely and creamy. Just make sure you blend this really well. You put water in, which I think I forgot to mention earlier. So you put water in, just a little bit. You start it off in the blender, and you just add a little bit as you go. So you can never take away, you can always add. So you get to a point where it's really nice and creamy. You know, it's sort of this sort of a consistency. Okay, because that's what you're going to put inside your ravioli. Okay, so I'm going to just get started here, but hold on, I'm going to just turn you off for a second. So, okay, so today I'm using the round dehydrator to actually finish these off. So, so basically what you do is you've got your cream, you've got your pumpkin that has been dehydrated for a good hour. I put them in for at least an hour, sometimes even more, because I want it nice and pliable, you know, for it to actually be nice and sticky. So what you need is this paper, like a baking paper, and you put a good amount of olive oil. So you drizzle olive oil on there so that it doesn't stick, okay? And then you start to portion your beautiful, beautiful cheese sauce. And I like to put the, you know, the ones that are underneath, I like to put the thicker ones, because they're just better with the underside when they're a bit thicker, like this. So they're already soft, obviously, from the dehydrator. And the dehydrator, just in case you're wondering, we want 45 degrees centigrade or 118 Fahrenheit. And the simple reason being that this is some kind of an equivalent of actually having it out in the sun. So you're not cooking, you're not killing the enzymes, so this is real living food with all the goodness still left in it. It's not dead, it's not cooked, there's no change in the structure. It's still food that is going to give you the nutrients, the unchanged chemistry. It's still a whole food, okay? So that's why we're doing this. Okay, so we keep doing this, and you can make as many as you want, obviously. You just decide before you go. I made the sauce for probably about 12, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep going, okay, with the thicker ones, and I've cut some a bit thicker and some a bit thinner, but you can do it whichever way you want. You can even use, like, you know, really thin ones. I've cut this one really fine. I tend to use these as the top one, so I can, let me just show you. So if I use one of these, and I don't know if you can see this well enough, if I place these on top, I can actually close these so much more easily, see, than with a hard one, like this. And there it is. So this is why I do it this way. Okay. And these will then go back into the dehydrator for a good 5 to 6 hours. So it is a food that you do need to prepare. So you need to plan with us a little bit. But then, you know, if you're inviting people or something, if you start making this at lunchtime, say, and you're inviting people for dinner, perfect. You know, you prepare this whenever, and then you put it in the dehydrator. You can put a timer on it if you want to, so that when everybody shows up, basically things are ready, right? So it's a great way of cooking. You do need to plan a little bit, but you need to plan even if you're cooking. You need to get home an hour early from work or whatever it is. So you need to plan anyway. Okay. Here's another one. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to bore you with showing you all of them. Tell you what they turn out like. And in my next video, I'm going to show you what to do with pumpkin seeds, because it's a shame to throw them away. You know, if you go out, now that you know how to easily chop the pumpkin up, you might go out to the farmer's market, you buy a beautiful pumpkin, and then, you know, you're taking so much out, you know, if you remove all the pits, all the stones. And there's so much goodness in these, so many minerals and nutrients. You actually really want to be using this, and you can turn them into a beautiful snack. Dry them and keep them, and then put additional things on it, you know, like olive oil, sea salt, cayenne, whatever you want to put on there. But I'll talk more about that a little bit later. So I'm going to go and finish these off, then I'm going to pop them into the dehydrator, and I will post either a little video of the finished product or a photograph, and I'll just show you what these turned out like. Okay, I'll see you later.